I
on,
won't take
somebody.
too much of your time, but I just would like to introduce everyone to who you are. You are
Okay.
Jacinth Pedlim, multi-award-winning actress, model, film producer, a mother. You were born in Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Yes. So we're so happy to have you. And I know that you have some project that you worked on. And I just want you to reintroduce yourself. Who is Jacinth? I mean, you could say that you're producing all that stuff, but who is Jacinth?
Oh man, I would just say I am a sister. Um, a sister to everyone here, just here to pay it forward, to show love, to represent love, to help in any way, shape, or form, to, pay it forward to help people know that you too can walk in your purpose and transform your pain to your purpose. To find and discover your healing and your voice and what you were put on this earth for.
Yes.
So I would say that's who I feel like I represent. Love. Yeah.
Yes. And you've also written a book.
Yes.
It's called Love After.
Yes.
And it is really interesting. And what I really like about the book is your transparency. And you
Oh,
showed vulnerability in this book.
oh gosh. Yeah.
And and I would encourage anybody. I mean, how would one purchase this book if they're looking for it?
If you want an autograph copy with the bookmark and the gift bag, you can get it directly from me. That's theloveafter.com. And I'll mail it out directly. I'll autograph it and write my note in there for you. Or there's some people who have Amazon. You can do it through Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. I'm an Audible girl. If you want to listen to it through Audible, Amazon Audible, it's on there. It's my voice. Yes, I've narrated. Or it's also on Kindle.
Okay, awesome. This is awesome. You touch on some really, really deep parts. I don't know if you would like to talk about the book. I'm leaving the show really up to you to navigate. I will not try to dictate where you go. The title of the show is Pain to Purpose. So I know there are a couple of things that you may touch, probably on divorce. The power of forgiveness is a huge one. And the power of prayer, which is your last chapter on this book, I found really, really fascinating.
Um,
Uh, so you're a praying woman. Is
yes,
that
I
what you're
am.
saying? So
Yep.
can you lead us right now in
Come
prayer?
on, somebody.
I'm just saying. All right, so I'll leave the door open to you. What made you choose this title, Pain to Purpose?
I do feel like in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you're coming from. And I always say that our purpose is not about us, it's how can we be used? How can we edify someone else? How can we use whatever mess we've been through, whatever pain we've overcome, how can we use that to pay it forward to help someone else? I always say the difference between my dreams is to edify me. That's what I want to do. That's what I've dreamt of. That's what I'm aspiring to become. But your purpose is how can God use you for his glory.
Yes.
And I feel like oftentimes some people know what that is off the bat. I didn't know it. I had to discover my purpose through going through trials and errors and my journey of life. Mine's had to come from pain. Now I see, okay, this is what I've healed from. Wow. There's so many people who can go through what I've went through. There's so many people out here who needs to heal from this thing, who needs to know that there is love after. Who needs to know that you don't have to stay down. You can get up. You can still get your crown on, straighten yourself, and keep on pushing, but just don't stay down. So I feel like that's where I was able to discover my purpose is in transform my pain to my purpose. And I feel like so many of us, that's where our purpose lies. It's usually tied to what we've had to overcome.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you mentioned that it took you a while before you could find what your purpose was, because I talk to many people every day, and I meet people who are extremely frustrated at a very young age. I'm talking about 19, 20, 21, and they're like, I don't know what my purpose is. Learning who you are, but they're still frustrated. What would you say in that regard?
I mean, I always say that you can't know what your purpose is if you don't know who you are. And when I did the journey of discovering who is Jacinth, that's when God was able to reveal it to me. Like, okay, you're ready now. I can present to you what your purpose is because now you get it. If you don't know who you are, and God tell you, hey, this is why you were created, it will fall on deaf ears because you don't know who you are. So He can't even really fully give you. You won't be able to grasp it. So when I did the soul searching and trying to heal and figure out who Jacinth is, I went to the person who created me, my creator. Why was I created? What is it that you want me to learn? What is it that you want me to take from this thing called life? Why am I here? And when I was ready for him to reveal it, he revealed it to me.
That's
So
dope.
yeah, I think it's something that some people know it, some people have to discover it, some people have to do soul searching. There's some people who know off the back what their purpose is. So
Right. So I'll ask for your opinion, and I won't say if it's right or wrong, but you mentioned about finding yourself first. But what about those who feel like they can only find themselves if they're attached to someone else? I can only find myself in you. What do you think about that mentality?
that's dangerous. That's dangerous because first and foremost, you're telling me that that's a void that's within you that no one else can fill. And I know God to be a jealous God. And you don't want him to take that person from you involuntarily. So a lot of people can sit here and try to find their joy and try to find themselves in alcohol. Some people take substance because they don't know who they are and they're searching and they're searching and they're trying to fill this void and they're trying to numb and numb and numb. And then you go in one big circle and come right back to the same thing of, okay, God, I submit. I surrender it all to you. I can't do this on my own. You have to get to that point of fully surrendering. And that's where I had to go. I've tried it all. And nothing could have filled that void within that I was searching for. Nothing could have told me who is Jacinth but my creator. But I had to go through a journey of healing and discovery and finding who I am and my voice and my purpose. So you can sit here and try to find it in relationships, find it in marriage. When you strip away all of this title, when you strip away the who, what, when, where, why, how, and some people like to attach themselves with associations or organizations and brotherhood and sisterhood, and all of that is cool, it's great, it's beautiful. But when you take all of that away, you take all of that away from the surface, and you're laying here by yourself at night in your four walls, are you at peace with you? Are you at peace with you? Do you know who you are? Do you know whose you are? And do you know what is your purpose? Are you walking in that purpose? Because if not, you won't be at peace. You'll wake up tomorrow feeling the same way. There's so many people who live life year after year after year, just existing and not living. Why? Because I've been there. I've done that. You know what I mean? So nothing can fill that. So stop trying to attach yourself to titles and people and relationships and thinking your kids is going to fill that void. And being a mother is beautiful, but your kids can't answer for you when you go to the grave. None of that. None of that is going with you. When you go to the grave, you can't bring your mama with you. You can't bring your aunties and your husband and your man or that woman or whoever you dating with you. Your title and your degrees and all of that gushy good stuff, you cannot bring it with you. I get passionate, I get carried away, but I digress.
Yeah.
I say all of that to
I am
say
not putting a stop to it.
you can't bring all of that with you. Come on, somebody. You can't. They might throw some roses on your casket. That's it.
And that's it. And that's the harsh reality. Because I used to always get ridiculed or criticized for taking myself out to lunch or dinner by myself. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's so sad you're going alone. I'm like, what's so sad about it? I love my own presence. I love being I love Gersh. I love hearing Gersh's voice, spending time with Gersh. And I feel that you can't move on and pour into people's lives in a meaningful way if you don't love being who you are and and love yourself.
Okay. I just saw a question. Yes, amen. Your strength, encouragement, and inspiration to so many. Thank you so much. I just came from dinner by myself. Good job.
Awesome.
That is, look, if you can't love you by yourself, ask yourself the question, would you date you? And a lot of people are like, hell no, I won't date me. Then you're not ready to be with nobody, honey.
Exactly. To silence the voices. I had too many voices speaking to me, speaking
Right.
in me, speaking through me, speaking for me. I just had to silence it all. And
Right.
I had to learn how to just hear my voice and God's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was extremely hard in the beginning because I grew up depending on people's opinions, people's
Mm.
thoughts, people's validations. And
Yeah.
I had to learn how to just hear me and accept me.
Yeah.
And for a very long time, that was hard for me to do. But then when I accepted who I am and I
Mm-hmm.
was going into self-discovery, I did a lot. Some people know I go to Eagle Rock Mountain or South Mountain Reservation. That's where I go and have my me time just to hear
Mm-hmm.
me. Turn the phones
Right.
off, social media. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to hear anything else. And
Right.
and once you start discovering yourself and what you like and be comfortable with what you like and what you desire in life,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll be able to start distinguishing your voice from everyone else's voice. And it's
Right.
okay to be on opposite ends. It's okay for me to disagree and say, no, I don't want to go here. I don't want to go there. Or this is not my style. I had to learn how to be honest with me is Gersh.
Yeah.
And actually recently on December 1st of 2019, before I turned 42, is when I became the Gersh version who I am today. The one that basically I'm pursuing whatever God says, regardless of if people say yes or no, because I
Yeah.
was still struggling with trying to get people's approval. But
Mm.
now, whether you're on my team or not, my squad or not, doesn't matter. The train is
Right.
moving. You can.
Right.
I'm inviting you, but I'm not going to force you to join. So where I'm
Mm-hmm.
going, I'm going. I understand that not everyone is meant to go where you're going in life. God will
Absolutely.
set certain people in certain seasons to
Mm-hmm.
assist you and help you, but I should not stop just because I'm trying to get, so and so from 10, 20 years ago that I've known to be a
Right.
part of who I am now.
Right. What I would also add to that is that somebody might on this line might be listening and saying, because I keep on hearing a lot of people are beating up on themselves about their age and feel like they should be further off in life and feeling like, man, I'm still struggling with this purpose thing. I don't know how to really fulfill my dreams. And it's like, um, your dreams might be delayed, but it's never denied. And you have to give into divine intervention and divine timing, like God's timing. Because I know for me, I had my dreams and aspiration and I had things figured out, honey. I was just like, okay, by 24, 25, boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to be an actress. Look, I'm trying to be like a top model. I did get into top models, but that's a whole nother story for another day. I wasn't a US citizen at the time when I got accepted into America's Next Top Model. But anyway, I had life figured out for me in a whole nother way. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I hit rock bottom and lost everything about 3 years ago was when I had to throw in the towel and was like, okay, I fully surrender everything. I'm not driving this vehicle no more. God,
Mm-hmm.
you're my creator. You are the beginning and my end, the author and the finisher of my life. So you know why I'm here. You know why I'm going through what I'm going through. I need you to help me, not now, but right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get self out the way. So I'm saying that to say also know that your blessings might be delayed but never denied, but also are you standing in your way? That's
Yes.
another thing too, because oftentimes your purpose and your vision might have been revealed to you numerous times, but you're
Mm-hmm.
standing in your way and you're blocking your own blessing. And you call that self-sabotage, blessing
Yes.
sabotage. You're blocking your own blessing. And I'm guilty of that because I've done that for so long because I ran from the responsibility. I'm like, I can't do this on my own. I need help. I need a whole team, a whole tribe. This is a big vision and it's bigger than me. For
Mm-hmm.
example, when God first gave me Love After, and it first started off as a book, but now Love After is so much bigger. All I know, he said, no, this is not just a book, daughter. This is global. I'm talking about different continent. So last year, I'm like, okay, you're saying global. I need you to make the provisions because I don't know how to. You're saying global. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I fully surrendered. I'm like, whatever, you do your thing. Because I know if God, you gave me the vision, you'll make provision. And out of nowhere, I got connection to that Nigeria or schools in Nigeria. I was able to go and do a tour with your academic mentor, and he reached out to me, and I was able to connect with my sister friend Michelle Zatuni, and went out there, was able to do a school tour and spread the message of love after out there. And then I went to London, with my sister friend, my Deneron sisters. I was able to do a high school tour out there, and then Canada. I was able to do stuff out there, and then Jamaica. And then, so I'm like, okay, now I see why he wanted me to plant seeds, because I'm going to go back around, and it's going to all make sense in the future. So you have to be in a position of fully surrendering, and also to just be selfless and take self out the way. And when you are obedient and can show that you're faithful over the few, then you can become rulers of many. If you're faithful over the smaller things, then God can be like, okay, son, daughter, I can now trust you to go further. I can now trust you to go to another dimension in me. I can now trust you to go to another level. I can put more on your plate now, because you've deemed yourself worthy. You show me that you can trust, you can walk in obedience, and you can listen to my voice. Yes. So that's one thing you have to do, is not be so caught up in seeking validation and confirmation from everybody else. Like Gersh was saying earlier, just wanting to seek validation and confirmation. Is this, what do you think? What do you think? And that. And it's like, they not your creator.
Exactly.
How you gonna check them, and they still trying to figure life out? So they still trying to figure out life, but you go and check them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with people helping each other and interceding on each other's behalf and getting advice, but you have to not make that person your idol, where you're putting that person above, So yeah, I would say two things: your blessings may be delayed but never denied, and also make sure you're not blocking your own blessings.
Get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way. Sometimes you got to mute your voice. Come on, somebody. Mute yourself. Mute your distractions. You be surprised how distracted we are. You have to mute that. Many times I have to tell myself daily, Jacinth, shut it. Get out your way. You're listening to your conscious. You need to tap into your subconscious. Tap into your inner spirit. Because your conscious right now don't know what the heck she's talking about. You're operating out of self. You're operating out of fear. Because your subconscious, there's no such thing as can't. Failure is not an option. Exactly. There's nothing you can't do or nothing you can't reach. So sometimes I have to get me out the way and like, okay, let's get it. You're right. Let's do this. Boom.
Now, while you were pursuing your journey of just listening to God and just trusting in him, did you have it all together all the time?
Heck no, I'm still a work in progress.
Thank you. Because there's so many people like, I gotta have it all together first. And it's not true.
That is not true. Because I feel like it's a daily walk. It's daily. And that's why you're always evolving. The minute you feel like you're getting too comfortable, that's letting you know, let's go, tap in. You need to evolve. You're getting too complacent. You're getting too comfortable. There's something else that you need to be doing. And yourself, what you'll know, if you tap into your inner spirit, your voice, you'll know if something is tugging on you to do something new or different or shift in another direction, or there's a transition that's coming that you'll start to feel a little uncomfortable. Like, man, I know I'm supposed to be doing this, and I know I'm supposed to be going in this direction, but I'm scared, I'm nervous, I don't have the money, I don't have the finances. What if people don't do it? What if people don't bite? What if people don't buy it? What if no one supports? Once again, your conscious mind is getting in the way. Your word is your wand. Your word is your wand. You only speak life, because you can literally speak death over yourself. You can literally speak death over your dreams and your vision. Speak life. Life and death lies in the power of your tongue, and our tongue is so powerful and it's easily underestimated. You'd be surprised how many things, how many blessings you've killed because you spoke wrongly over yourself. You can't do that. Yes. And reconnect to your inner self. Yes. Kill the noises, Carl. Yes. Amen. Trials and error. Yes. All about trial and error, man. You're going to go through so many shifts, but once you know who you are, you'll know when you're heading in the wrong direction, or you'll know you have to stop, wait, think, be still, then go. But you really have to know you. And I say, you know, I don't want to be super, super religious, but you really have to know your creator. I mean, that's the person who is in charge of why you're here, why you have blood running through your veins, why you're breathing, why you wake up every day. You
Mm-hmm.
have to tap in and try to have a relationship with your creator as to why am I here? You know,
So
and
important.
you're not going to fall in love with someone that you don't have a relationship with. You fall in love and you start to build love when you actually, you know, intentional about having a relationship. You know, you're not just going to get married and say I do to someone that you just met. Love
Mm-hmm.
don't happen overnight. So I would say if you're trying to really find yourself and find out who you are in this journey of self-discovery, you really have to connect to God and fall in love with him. Let him be the lover of your soul, and he'll tell you, he'll let you know by confirmation through other people, through things, through directly speaking to your spirit of what you're here for, and stuff will start to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff will really start to make sense, but you really have to quiet the noise and know how to really be discerning, and that doesn't happen overnight. That's something that you just it comes daily. Like you said, it's a daily practice. Just always make sure you stay in a place of gratitude. Like you want life to be peaceful and joyful and harmonious, is gratitude, man. Love and gratitude. It doesn't matter where you're from, where who you know, your ethnicity, your race, your heritage, whatever it is. One universal language that we have is love. Whether
Yes.
you're from a different religion, it doesn't matter. One
Mm-hmm.
universal language that we all have is love. You know, should stay in a place of loving others. Love your neighbors like you love yourself. Do unto others as you would want done to you. The law of
Mm-hmm.
karma. You know, so love, 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 and just stay in a place of gratitude, and that will make your life grow tremendously. You'll see so many doors of opportunity open up for you because you operate from a place of gratitude and love. I promise
Yeah.
you. Promise you.
I love that. We have a question that came up. It is from
Mm-hmm.
Royale Decor and Rental. It says, how do you deal with the low moments, especially in times of uncertainty? How do you deal with the low moments,
You go for
especially in
that
time?
first.
Okay, I'll share how I deal with it. There's different things that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a musician, so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my place of calmness and being able to stop fighting against what's going on
Mm-hmm.
and to find stillness and peace in me is when I play and I just allow the spirit to direct my hands
Mm-hmm.
and play his own song, his own music. So I'm always inspired through that. Of course, we have tons of music that we can listen to. And one of my friends reintroduced me to have a conversation with God and tell him exactly how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm not feeling this.
Mm-mm.
This doesn't. But I've learned I can't just do it like this. I have to do it the way David did because David, the way he did it, Lord, I'm going through this, that, and third A, B, C, D, E. But you are A, you are B, you are C. He told God who he is, so his soul was able to hear
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
reaffirm who God is, regardless of what I'm going through. God is still worthy. He is still faithful, and then His peace covers me and give me that
Mm-hmm.
stillness and that peace of mind that I need to continue on. And I had to learn that it is a journey, and I have to appreciate the journey, the
Mm-hmm.
pain that comes with it, the joy that comes with it, the ups and downs.
Right.
I can't stand the downs, but I appreciate the downs because it helps
Yeah.
me and it builds me so that when I, like you said, sharing with other people the love of God that He's given me, it makes it so
Mm-hmm.
much more easier because I can now relate to them on a more deeper level because I've been there. I know what the low moments feels like.
Right.
So now you answer the question.
Mine's not too far off. And I mean, I go through daily struggles like we all do. I mean, that's just life.
Hmm.
Life is whether you on top of the world, got $1 million in your bank account or $5 in your bank account, we all gonna go through some stuff.
Hmm.
But as you get mature and you become more mature spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you know, you're just growing as a person, you kind of know how to handle problems a little bit differently. You don't beat yourself up so much.
Hmm.
You're like, you know what? This too shall pass. I'm not gonna sit here but I also allow myself to purge. I allow myself to cry. I mean, I would lay on this floor and bawl like a baby. Like, because it's cleansing, it's puring, it's purifying. It's okay to cry, men and women. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable. And then, yeah, I will lay here and I will just talk to God first thing. And like, even if I got to talk to him for an hour, look, like you said, I call him out on his word. I know that you're a God, that you should not lie. You know, your answers to your promises to me are yes and amen. Or, you know, why am I going through this? Or you gotta, you know, help me through this. Or I know that you know, whatever it feels like, I don't care what it feels like. I don't care what it seems like. I don't care what people are. I don't care. I'm putting my trust in you. Yeah. That this too shall pass, and this is going. I'm going through this for a reason. I just need you to help me understand and give me faith and hope and to help me to trust you more, so I can sustain this thing, because it's a lot. My cup is heavy. My plate is heavy. The weight on my back is heavy. And I don't feel like I can talk to nobody about this, because they probably won't even understand what I'm going through. They can't relate. Because oftentimes when we going through stuff, I'm not the only one. You feel like nobody around you can relate. Right? So, but that's what the enemy wants you to believe. You know, but you also have to be very discerning and very use wisdom as to who you confide in, because not everybody is for you. Come on, somebody. But I know I'll understand it later, when I'm not in my feelings, when I'm not in my emotions, and I'm not, you know, drowning my thoughts, and it's clearer, and I'm not drowning by my problems. I know I'll be able to understand later. And I just say, I surrender it all to you. Yes. I surrender it all to you. Just help me to understand. Give me strength. Give me peace. Help me to understand. And it takes time. Once you give it to God, it's not going to go away tomorrow. For some people, it might be. You might be like, hey, I gave it to God. I'm not worried about it no more. Next. Some people operate differently. Sometimes it might take me a week. Sometimes it might take me 2 weeks. Sometimes it might take me a month. But as I mature more in God, it don't take me as long as it used to. Yeah.
I see some other questions. We have one from Carl. It says, what you consider pain? Would you consider, wow, look at me reading. Would you consider pain a blessing?
It goes back to what we were just talking about, in terms of how you look at pain. When you become more mature spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and you've grown as a person, you look at pain differently. You definitely look at pain differently, because instead of you looking at it like, why me? Why is this happening to me? You're playing the victim. I'll now look at it from a different perspective. My perception has now changed. I'm like, why not me? Obviously there's something that I need to learn from this thing right here. Why is it coming back around? Because I didn't learn the first time. I need to learn from this right here, because it's a lesson that I'm supposed to learn from this, in order for me to move and grow to my next dimension or my next level. It always makes sense later. So you have to learn, you have to look at your pain differently. And when I started to change my perception and how I view pain and how I view struggle, it doesn't affect me as much. But that does, like I said, it doesn't come overnight. It really is a mind thing. You really have to learn to have control over your mind and your emotions. And yeah, you might be hurting. Yeah, you're carnally, you're going through and you're feeling pain, but you cannot feed into that. Like I said, you got to mute those things out. If you got to cry, but let it go and fully surrender it. Let it go and fully surrender it. So I deal with it differently. I do look at my pain as a blessing. It's tied to my purpose. And it's something that I needed to learn from. And oftentimes, those pain might come back around because I didn't learn the first time. Yes, I'm hard-headed. I am. There's things that I didn't learn the first time. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I know why this happened again. I just went in one big circle. It's okay. I'm going to learn this time. So you have to look at the way, why things are happening. Why is it happening? And oftentimes it's repeating itself because you didn't learn from it the first time. Exactly. And it's the same thing, but it's just coming in a different, it has a different mask over it. But it's usually something that you didn't learn from the first time, or something that you need to go through in order to make you better, or it's tied to your purpose. So you just have to seek answers as to why, like really do, like go back to what Gersh and I were saying, going through that self-discovery of trying to make sense of why is this happening, you know.
So now it's all about transitioning from a mindset of crisis to a mindset of opportunity. I don't see pain and issues and stuff like that. when it first hits, it is a crisis. But then you have more, once you start to mature, you
Yeah.
change your whole mindset, change it from, okay, now this is an opportunity for me to grow, is an opportunity for me to change my,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe I was doing things the wrong way or going the wrong route, or
Right.
I've been hanging around the wrong type of people, and
Mm-hmm.
those painful moments have
Right.
given me an opportunity now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give an example. Some people, they're like, Lord, I need to get out of this situation, but I don't know how to. And then God causes that person to cause some type of crisis to put you in a situation where now you can justifiably say,
You can leave.
well,
You can
you
get out.
see, since this happened, I guess we're going to have to go our separate ways. And you're like,
Oh
oh,
my
thank
God.
God. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
how I was going to break this order. This person like, I don't want to hang around you no more. You're just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so crazy because a lot of things, oftentimes it happens that way. I mean, you pray for something, you ask for something, and it comes when you least expect it in a unorthodox way.
Yeah.
If I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't have been able to write a book. That book wouldn't have taken me to different continents of me just spreading the message of love after. I wouldn't have known my purpose. I just thought my purpose was to model and act.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, that's just my dreams. My purpose is bigger than me. And now this purpose is now being turned to a whole different movement. And now I can say, okay, I'm working on a television series. So it's like, wow,
Awesome.
I had no idea from pain to purpose. Like, God, had I known it was going to be all of this, I would never have made a big deal like that. Why you just didn't tell me? Why didn't you give me the shortcut? Now I'm
We
like,
always want God to give us the
you
shortcut.
know, yeah. Now I'm like, why not me? Bring it on. Let's go. I'm not saying I embrace pain. I just know how to deal with it differently now because I know there's a breakthrough behind it. Let's
Yeah.
go. There's a reason why I'm going through this. Come on, somebody.
That's
Let's
right.
go. I cannot wait till this thing is over because my sunshine that's about to come after this rain. Oh, the enemy, he don't want none. He don't want none. Come
That's the
on,
truth.
bring it. So I just have more of a warrior mindset and not so much of a victim. So I just look at stuff differently. So when you get to that place of just change your perception on how you look at your pain, it's a blessing. I'm telling you, just hold on. Right behind that storm, honey.
That's right.
Your breakthrough, boom, you're gonna be like, yo, they was right. I'm trying to tell you. Just change the
That's
way you
it.
look at it, and you'll be fine. Embrace your pain with gratitude. You know what? I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm going through this. It's something I have to learn. And I'm telling you, great gratitude. Be grateful. I mean, how I look at forgiveness is that was a tough one for me. That was a tough one because at one point I just was looking at forgiving someone that hurt me to my core, hurt me that I least expected these people to hurt me. It was hard. And I just felt like, nope, I would never forgive them. Nah, I have nothing to do with you. I'm done. Like, I'm like very loyal by default. But when I cut you off, I cut you off. Like, nah, I'm good.
With a machete.
I'm good. With a whole machete and then some. I'm Jamaican. We use the machete. Like, come on. You like if I cut you off, me done. You know why? Nothing for do with you. Me done. But I had to learn that forgiveness is taking my power back. And I wrote that in my chapter, The Power of Forgiveness, is taking my power back. And I did not know how much for so long I was blocking my own blessing. That's why when I said self-sabotage, I was blocking my own blessing and was stuck and was stagnant and could not go further because I had unforgiveness in my heart and I couldn't look past my hurt. I couldn't look past the pain. I couldn't look past why me. Nah, I bumped that. I'm pissed. Like they got the wrong one. And I couldn't get past that. And I was mad. I was mad at my offenders. I was mad at God. I was mad at myself. Like, why would you let this happen to me? I'm a good person. I ain't did nothing to nobody. Why didn't you block it? You have the power. Why did you let it happen to me? Period. And I was mad at myself because I'm like, dag, Ja, like that. You saw the signs. Why did you allow that? Were you that, low of low to allow that to happen to you? And it's easier said than done, right? But that's oftentimes when we go through things and we are going through things with offenders and people that hurt us, and it's usually the people that we love the most that can have that access to us to break us to the point of that low. And it's definitely hard, but when you get to that place, once again, of what we've been saying, is change your perception, change your lens of how you look at your pain, and take it on with gratitude. Like, you know what? I'm grateful that happened because there's a reason why I needed to see this so I can move on to my next. And you don't know no better. I forgive you. You not even operate like I forgive you. And I had to learn how to take my power back to walk with gratitude that I'm happy it happened. It showed me that person and I can still love that person. I forgive that person and I can love you from a distance. And I just know how to transition and operate differently because now you use wisdom, right? Now you use discernment. So now you can move a little bit differently, but you don't let that person don't let that person or that thing or whatever it is to steal your joy, to steal your peace of mind, to steal your happiness. To take away your strength, to allow you to take your crown off. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. And when you get past the hurt, you'll know why it was necessary for you to go through what you went through. You'll know why it was necessary for you to find out what you found out, or it was necessary why you had to go down that road. It'll make sense now. It might be revealed a year from now. It might be revealed 2 months from now. It might be revealed 5 years from now, but it will come to pass. You will find out. But you just have to trust yourself, trust the Holy Spirit, trust, have faith, and change your lens. Like, okay, instead of why me, why not me? It had to happen. It was necessary. It was necessary. What do I need to learn from this? Okay, all right. And just move differently. And that person is probably going to need you before you knew them. I guarantee you, everybody that I had to forgive had to come back around and beg me for my forgiveness. And I'm like, I've been forgave you. I've been forgave you. It's okay. And I've been praying for you. But I just move differently. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when God said he'll make your enemies your footstool, that's real.
It's true.
That's real. That's real. And he'll prepare a table before your enemies. That's real. The same people who did you wrong, they're gonna stand to see you rise. They're gonna look up before you look down. You know what I'm saying? So count it all joy. Go through it with gratitude. Go through it with just shield yourself with faith and just trust God that he's going to take you through it and do the work and not allow anything to keep you down or stagnant. Stand up and keep going. Even if you got to slouch at first, it's going to be heavy. The burden is going to be heavy, but you're still standing and you're still moving. Even if your back is slouched, it takes time, but don't let it keep you down and mad and angry and stagnant.
I love everything that you shared because while you're sharing that, I'm thinking about my episodes and the pain that I've gone through in my life. Some of them I'm still experiencing even as we speak. But I've learned that forgiveness is not a one-time thing. You have to do it daily until until it is true. Because sometimes we did forgive and then the next day we're like, ooh, let me get a brass knuckle or something.
That's how you
as
know
long
you
as
haven't
you're
fully
still
let
in
it
the
go.
ooh situation, then
Like
you know.
you ain't there yet. You ain't there yet.
So it was really hard for me because and from my perspective, the forgiveness part had you know when you're getting stone thrown, right? You're trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Right.
But you're getting it thrown so many directions that you're like, oh my goodness, who's my enemy? So in my case, I didn't know who my enemy were. So I didn't know who to forgive because I didn't know who are the the ones who's committing the assault. But God had to teach me how to just do a blanket forgiveness and stop trying to seek out who I want to have revenge on. Like, I want to know who it is so I can give them a piece of mind. I want to know who that person, so I know how I'm going to treat this person.
And the why, too. The why. Oftentimes we get caught up on, why would you do this? Why did you do that? Why? That person don't even know because they're not even themselves. They're lost. They're all the way lost. They're not even operating in the right mindset.
You're so pissed off, and then they're just living their life like, ha, ha. And you're like,
you lose sleep.
You know, I always give this illustration because I see it happen all the time. Because I know people who sit down and they're like, you see how they're just walking in? Oh, I knew it. I know they're looking at me and they're thinking about it. And they're like, they're not thinking about you. They did not look at you. They didn't even notice you when they looked your direction. And you're already, see, I knew it. They came here. I knew why they were in purple. They knew that I like a purple dress. So they purposely wear purple so that they could get me mad. Listen,
Yeah, that
sister,
person that you got to clean your whole
yeah,
mindset,
you
change your
need to
lens,
clean it
and
all
stop
up.
being so concerned on people. You got to mute your now that person.
Mm-hmm.
You got to mute yourself because you can also get in your way with
Yeah.
that kind of thinking. You're blocking your own blessings, being worried about why this person and that person is doing this because they know you, this, that, and the third. I don't concern myself with people no more. Whoever is for me is going to gravitate towards me.
Mm-hmm.
And if my spirit take to them and I'm at peace with it, they'll stay. If not, if it's for a season, then it's for a season. I don't worry about stuff like that no more.
That's great. Jacinth Hitlam.
Jacinth. Yeah, man.
All right, so we're back, and I really wanted to talk about the part in part two. I wanted you to touch on: did you notice red flags when you were married, and did you respond to them, or did you ignore them, and then, or were they revealed to you after the marriage? You was like, oh, okay, I didn't notice this, that, and the third.
Sure, all of the above.
Oh, okay.
All of the above. There were red flags, but for me, I'm like, okay, I'm a part of a covenant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to throw in the towel so much. I want to make sure I leave no stones unturned. If I walk away, I'm not gonna feel convicted or guilty. I know I did what I was supposed to do and did everything to fight for the marriage. So that's another reason why I was like, I'm mad at God because I'm following you because you're not an author of divorce. I know you don't favor divorces, so I'm trying to keep my covenant because when you in a marriage, it's you, your spouse, and God. It's a triune, it's a covenant. And so I think that's why I stayed. I stayed because I just did not have that push to leave yet. I think for me, I was just so caught up in the bigger picture, which was the covenant.
Yes.
I think when you're married, it requires so much selflessness and vulnerability, and sometimes staying even though you're unhappy at the moment, because you're looking at the bigger picture, especially when kids are involved and assets are involved and homes and house. It's a lot to just say, oh, my feelings and my emotions are hurt, so I'm just gonna leave. It's a lot to take into consideration.
Yes.
Absolutely. But were there red flags, yeah. And afterwards, when I walked away, I also questioned myself. Dad, did I move too fast? Should I have stuck it out? Should I have stayed longer? Did I make the right decision? Man, the grass isn't green on the other side. It's hard out here dating.
It is.
It's hard out here to date. People are here crazy. Nobody wants to work hard anymore. Nobody out. Everyone wants things so fast and trying to date in 2018, 2019, and 2020. I'm just like, oh man, it's different. So there, but I'm in a great space. I'm in a great space. I'm happy because I'm no longer attaching my happiness and my joy and my peace with things or people. Yeah. I can now say that I love Jacinth. If you're from Jamaica and you're from the Caribbean, we pronounce the A a little bit different. So I can now say I am so in love with Jacinth. I'm so in love with my creator. I'm so in love with life. I know myself. I know who I am, whose I am. I know my purpose. And there's a certain different, it hits differently. Your joy and your peace hits differently when you're walking in purpose and your vision is starting to manifest and you start to live life on purpose, for purpose. Nothing matters. Like nothing can come against that anymore. Like you're happy to wake up and get another chance to get this thing right. So I no longer validate my happiness based on relationship and relationship goals and who I'm with and trying to be married or trying to be in a relationship. Because at one point, because that was all I knew in my whole 20s, I was married and I had, I was a mom and I was a wife. So when I was now single, I'm like, wow, I've been a wife and a mom my whole 20s. Now I'm 30. Who am I? What do I do now on my own, on myself? I don't have my kids all the time because it's now you got to do with the custody and 50-50. And it's like, it was a rude awakening that I had to go through in the self-discovery, and just scratching everything that I knew about life and
Mhm.
love and my identity prior to, and had to learn everything about life from scratch, literally from scratch.
Yes.
And now you're looking at a product of my new beginning. And I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still discovering me, but I'm just saying I feel damn good about it. I feel
I hear
I
you.
feel great about it because I now can say I know my purpose and I'm walking in it. So life is a little bit different now.
Okay. So would you say this version of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um, you feel that in this state of mind, in this mindset that you're you can see yourself in a relationship in a better situation compared to when you went into it when you were younger?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like now, l- looking back, getting, I mean, I was in a relationship for 10 years. I was 19. I was a baby.
No.
I mean, 19, I'm looking at my sister who is 19 and she don't even know nothing about life and
Mhm.
love, much less in a relationship with somebody else. I mean, you can't really make somebody else happy if you don't know how to make yourself happy.
Mhm.
And how to make yourself happy, you have to know who you are. You don't really know who you are at 19, 20,
Mhm.
21. So I didn't really know what love was at those age. So I'm trying to still figure out how to really love me and wholeheartedly, and figure out me and what who am I?
Mhm.
Then I have to figure me out and you. And I'm still trying to figure God out. I
And
was
your
going
kids.
crazy. And my kids. So I was just a hot mess.
Mhm.
Being pulled in all these directions, mom, wife, and still trying to get daughter, this best friend. I'm still trying to carry all these hats and
Mhm.
little old Justin. I don't even know. I'm just pouring, and don't even know what and I'm pouring from.
Mhm.
So it's different now. Now that I say I know who I am and I'm walking in who she is, and I own that thing, and I know my purpose, and I know love differently now. I can look at love differently, and I can say I'm in a place of complete selflessness. I know how to love, and I know what comes with that, and the level of vulnerability and transparency and selflessness, and
Mhm.
how to serve. Because it's you're also serving when
Yeah.
you're in a relationship. It's not all about you. How can you serve and help your partner to find their purpose and walk in their purpose, and how can that person complement you to walk in yours as well?
Mhm.
But in order for you to say you're going to have a partner that's going to a life partner, what are they helping you with?
Yeah.
How can
Exactly.
that person assist you with your goals and your life purpose if you don't know what they're assisting you with?
Mhm.
So sometimes you're in a relationship and you find out, man, I got in this marriage and I'm thinking it's going to make me better and fill this void and make me happy. And I'm 2 years in, 3 years in, and you find yourself still empty,
Mhm.
still, still not full, still not whole. And you're so unhappy with your partner, and this partner can't trying to figure you out and trying to figure out how to make you happy, and they can't. What do I need to do to make you happy? I don't know. Just do something. They don't even know how to make you happy because you don't even know how to
So.
make you happy. You don't even know your purpose. In dating someone, I can know whether this person, first few conversation, first 1 or 2 date, I can know whether that person can complement my purpose or not.
Mhm.
I don't even waste my time. If I know that you can't really comprehend where I'm going or what I'm because the what I'm carrying is so much bigger than me. And if
Mhm.
you don't have the mindset to help me carry this thing, you can't sit at my table, sir. No, you
No.
cannot.
No.
I can't babysit you and try to make it make sense to you, and it's gonna cost me too much.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
when you know who you are, whose you are, and your purpose, then you can kind of like pick, the right partner to complement that.
Mhm.
You can now the person that's joining your life can complement that, and you his or her. You can be of service to your partner because they know what they're doing, where they're heading, or at least have an idea, so you can help to guide and help. But you both are helping each other, because when you get into a relationship, it's not it's not just about coupling and you trying to build collectively. You're still an individual. When you
Mhm.
die, your partner not going to that grave with you. you know, you still want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant.
Exactly.
You know, so you still have to make sure that you're still carrying out your assignment, whether you married or not, whether you in a partnership or a relationship or not. You still got to make sure that your purpose is fulfilled, your
Hmm.
vision is fulfilled. You can sit here and try to get in a relationship all you want to, and you sitting there being stagnant, thinking that that relationship is going to make you whole and heal and make you fulfilled. And 2 years down the line, you be mad at yourself,
Hmm. And mad at everybody else.
mad
Why
at
didn't you
everybody
tell
else,
me?
thinking,
Why didn't you tell me? Like,
look,
I,
you
I
got
feel
to figure it out before you try to join world with somebody else.
married, they dream about it, and they get married too early. It's like, enjoy
Right.
life, enjoy,
Enjoy
breathe.
life.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
New Jersey is not the only state in America. You know, there's other states. You know, and America is not
Yeah.
the only country in the world. You know, go
Right.
visit, become more well-rounded, meet new
Right.
people, learn new
Mm-hmm.
experiences. You know, and when you experience those things, it open up your mind, it open up your character. When you meet new people and visit different cultures, it actually changes you, because in Caribbean culture, Haitian culture, they if you don't have a husband, it's like you're a second class citizen, and
Right.
it's a
Right.
shame that it has to be that it's still this way in most parts. But hopefully we can break away from that mentality, especially those of us who grow
Mm-hmm.
in the Caribbean. If you're not married, you're not less of a person. You know, you're not less important because you're not married. Um, and if you're divorced, you don't just all of a sudden you don't exist anymore. You still have purpose. You still have value. And it was
Mm-hmm.
hard. It was hard to see a lot of people who've experienced divorce. They really shrink in a moment, and a lot of them disappear, and some of them don't even recognize
Yeah.
it anymore.
Right.
So I'm glad that you're here sharing your words of hope and wisdom with everyone, that there is life, and no matter, regardless of what the situation, not just
Absolutely.
divorce, but hard, you know, the hard things that happen in life, or hard things that happen in life. The question is, what are you going to make of it? Well, what is going to be your
Mm-hmm.
response? So I always tell people, God is not going to judge and come to you and say, okay, Gersh, come here. What did Jacinthe do to you? He's not going to say that. He's going to ask me, what was my reaction? You know, what did I
Mm-hmm.
do? He's
Yeah. You when you if you leave this earth tomorrow, you can't give account for no one else but yourself. You know, you can't give account for your partner. So you have to make sure you're doing what you have to do to make sure you feel fulfilled, that you're doing what you're put on this earth to do and to walk in your purpose. And a partner is supposed to complement that,
mm-hmm.
help you to grow and evolve and go into grow upward in the direction that you're supposed to, that you're going in anyway. Um, and yeah, if you're single, you that doesn't mean you're lesser than. If you're divorced, that doesn't mean that you're lesser than. And you have to ask yourself, why do you want to be in a relationship? Cause are you trying to be in a relationship because you're tired of being alone? Are you trying to be in a relationship because you're so caught up in a relationship goal, and every time you look somewhere it's love this and love that and
Mm-hmm.
couples and relationship goals, and you want the status? um that's not what relationship is about. I mean, it can get you there quickly and it'll be a quick fix, but then you find yourself still being unhappy and unfulfilled months or a year or two later,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're wasting someone else's time, and that's not fair to that person.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you're looking for? And if you do, or if you're dating someone, does this person complement your life and where you're going?
Yes.
How
That is
does
so
this
important.
person can how can this person help you fulfill your purpose, and vice versa? How can you help that person fulfill? How can you guys build together as well? You know, don't let trying to be in a relationship overpower everything else that you're supposed to be working on. It's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
You're just as powerful, sometimes even more powerful, because you have the freedom and flexibility to really do your own thing without having to worry about this person, that person's feelings, and giving into account, you know, if this person is going to like this or like that, or you can just pretty much live life though, like, for you. So it's a lot that comes into a relationship when you're ready to jump into a relationship. It requires a lot of selflessness and vulnerability and transparency that a lot of people are not ready for. They
Yeah.
think they are, but they're
True.
not. Mm.
I You know, I talk to a lot of couples, and
Mm-hmm.
I've witnessed couples where, like you said, they don't compliment each other because the husband is jealous of where the wife is going, and now he
Mm.
stands as the hindrance for her
Oh,
moving forward.
so
Or the
sad.
husband is the one that's actually doing a great job, but he has a wife who can actually help him get to the next level, but he does not want to entrust in her any part of his business or his of where direction that he's going because he doesn't want to share his glory. He feels like, you know, I'm the man and I'm supposed to be up here, and everyone else fall back and just follow my lead, and not
This
understand.
is why dating is so important. Courtship. These are things that you're supposed to kind of figure out and be discerning.
Hmm.
And while you're going through the phase of courtship, these are the things that you're supposed to be intuitive about and really praying about.
Hmm.
You know, not finding out after you say I do, and then you're now noticing, oh, this person is jealous. Oh, this person doesn't really compliment me the way I thought they would, or it's these are things that you really have to be prayerful about while you're dating, man. It's so important because people get so caught up in the oohs and ahs and wanting to be married so bad, and oh my God, he put a ring on it. Ah, that's cute. But when life happens and you have to do life together, and all the spectators and all the people that came and ate up all your food at your wedding and didn't even leave you a monetary gift and all of that, and everybody's home doing their own thing, and you're stuck with this person for life to live
Yeah.
life with, then you looking at him, he looking at you, you looking at him like, dang. Now that you
Like,
you know you done showed, you got your hashtag on Instagram for your wedding, and the bridal and this all this fireworks is cool, but then when you're stuck in this four wall having to live life with this life partner,
hmm,
and that's where life really starts, and that's when it really matters. All of that stuff is cute, but it don't really mean nothing.
yeah, some people are actually married with a nightmare. um Now for you,
Yeah, somebody says superficial cuteness. Yeah, man, Carl gets it.
so I'm not going to stress myself to the point of what am I supposed to do to make you happy, because some people are very draining. They love misery. They don't care that they just won $1 million. They will find a reason for that to be negative. Wow, I won $1 million. Oh, now I gotta pay all this
Hmm.
tax, and all these people gonna ask me for money. And like, you just won $1 million. Just be happy. Can you
For
just enjoy?
me, it's peace. Like, I am very selfish about my peace of mind. Like, my peace of me and peace of mind, honey, we like this.
You're
And
married.
if anything tried to come against my peace of mind, mm, I don't know, because
Ah.
it costs me too much. But because it's like, what's making that person unhappy, and if it's something I can do to help my partner get to a place of peace, let's pray about it, let's talk about it. Do you need some time out space? It's healthy to give each other time out space, because I feel like, let me process something, let
Yeah.
me let me and then let me come to you when I'm in a place where I can have a healthy, mature conversation. Because if I'm in a relationship, I pull the time out card if I feel like right now I'm a little bit in my feelings, and if I feel like if I say or talk right now, I might come from a place of talking from my emotions.
Hmm.
And I don't want to say anything right now that's not going to be fruitful or speak life, or that's going to hurt me, or hurt us. So
Hmm.
let me just get my mind right, and then I can come to you and have a conversation out of love. And I think if my partner and I have that kind of conversation, and that respect is
Hmm.
reciprocated and it goes both ways, then there's no way I'm going to allow you to make me unhappy, and vice versa. And
Yeah.
if you're going through, or you having a moment in your relationship, let's talk about it. If not, don't be disrespectful. If you have to take some time to yourself and get your me time, then do you. So
Hmm.
you go to a place of, finding yourself and
Yes.
coming back to earth, and let's talk about it when you find it.
I totally agree.
But I
But
don't think if I think that's selfish for me to be miserable, and then I'm gonna make everybody around me miserable. That's immature. That's immature.
yes, and maturity plays a big role in that, and it's important that both parties are mature enough to have that type of conversation.
Yeah.
And it also
Yeah.
depends on what environment did you grow up in. did you grow up in a hostile environment and that's all you know?
Mm-hmm.
But what I always try to tell people is that always learn, keep learning. Don't think that you've arrived. I'm always learning. I came
Yeah.
from a
You're
family
always going
where
to be learning.
we always sat down at the table and we discussed everything. And then, you go into a
Right.
marriage where everything cannot be put on the table because some it depends on their level of understanding and maturity, hostility as well. Certain subjects may become
Right.
too
Right.
sensitive and they don't know how to express themselves. And that's why it's important that both parties are understanding that I need to grow by
Mm-hmm.
myself and I need to grow together. But if you're not willing to grow and you're like, you know what, I am who I am, this is how I've always been, there's a problem. I love my peace.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
love
mean,
my
I think Carl said it too. Marriage readiness is very critical. But when you're dating and you're courting each other,
hmm
you're gonna have to go through some problem solving skills.
yeah.
And I pray that you have to deal with some crazy problems while you're dating and while you're courting and while you're girlfriend and boyfriend, just so you can see how each other deal with problems,
hmm
because that can be tough. I need to see you when you're high, when you're happy, and when you're sad, and when you're angry. I need to see those things so I can see how do you deal with your problems. How do you deal, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's important. Problem solving skills as a couple. Do you shut down? Do you lash out? Do you blame others? Do you take accountability? Do you see
hmm
what could I have done differently? Like, that's very, very
This is
important.
the situation. I'm not going to budge from it. I'll help you if you need help, but you need to fix this. You need to deal with this. And I've seen people who dissolve the relationship because of that. No, I'm not going to deal with it. You either accept me as I am, or there's no reason for us to be friends. I'm like,
Mm.
bye.
I
And
mean,
then,
you got to be accountable. You have to, and it goes back to being mature.
mm-hmm,
And that's why when you're dating and courting someone and girlfriend and boyfriend, all of that stuff pre-marriage, all of these stuff is what you need to pay attention to, and not so much, ooh, how fine he looking, how good she looking,
thank
and
you.
all of the artificial stuff. These are the nitty gritty. These are surface stuff. These are the foundational stuff.
Mm-hmm,
But once you know that attraction is there, get to the work,
mm-hmm,
get to the root, get to the stuff that's going to really make you guys grow to a long-term relationship, and what's the word, complement each other and have a successful lifelong relationship. Is problem solving. And like you were saying, if you don't know how to solve problems, then you're going to always play the victim all the time, and you're not going to take accountability. That's not cool. I think that's immature. That's whack. That's very
I'm,
immature, because I think if I do something wrong, I know how I know I'll feel convicted. But
mm-hmm,
that's me. I know how to deal with my problems.
mm-hmm,
I know when it's okay for me to say, you know what, Ja, you are wrong.
mm-hmm,
You could have did better. You could have dealt with that a little bit better. I know how to put my pride to the side, humble myself,
mm-hmm.
and step away from the situation and see what I can do differently. And if I need to apologize and say, how can we make this better? What can I do differently? And you bounce stuff off of each other. And as long as you're growing and you're learning daily, that's what matters. You're not gonna figure it out all out. That's not realistic. But as long as you're making stride and you're growing and you're learning, you're evolving, constantly evolving daily, I think that's where the recipe is. You're
I,
growing and you're evolving daily. That if you're already in a marriage, you have to get counseling. If that person is not listening to you, and they're just, everything that you're saying is falling on deaf ears, and this person coming off like they don't care, and they're not getting it, then you might want to get a counselor involved, someone who can reword it a little bit differently, because sometimes that person hear you, but they're not really hearing you because they're probably have tuned you out.
mm-hmm.
I know some men probably do that often, tune us women out. So getting somebody involved is very, very effective, because that counselor can word things a different way where your partner can understand. Like, oh, is that what he or she was trying to say? Then why you ain't said that? I was trying to say that. Oh, that's not what you said. So sometimes that counselor can break things down and translate it in a way where your partner will get it.
Yeah.
Where hearing you bicker and talk about the same thing every day, they probably won't get it because how you're going about saying it is not translating effectively, and it's not probably the best communicating skill.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. Oh, Irla gave us, she said, it's not a question, but really enjoying you two, and you give honest, positive, and open mind feedback. So thanks, Irla, for the
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank
compliment.
you.
And she said something else. She said, can a red flag change into positive?
If you're that's why I said while you're dating and courting is where you're going to see a lot of things. And I always ask God to reveal things. God, I'm dating this person. Reveal to me if this person is your best person for me. I
Mm-hmm.
want your best for me. I don't want mediocrity. I don't want the second best. I want your best for me because I'm a damn good investment.
Mm-hmm.
So I want your best for me. I don't want mediocrity. I don't want to settle for safe or settle for second best. So if this person is the person you have for me, show me certain things or confirm certain things. And yes, while you're dating and your mind is open to seeing those things and you're paying attention, you'll see it'll be there. Now you're looking out for certain red flags to address. And if that person can address these red flags and their action can show you that they're learning and want to grow and evolve, because sometimes somebody don't know they're doing something because they've been doing it for all their life. So they
Yeah.
don't know that they're doing something wrong. But if you
Mm-hmm.
point it out, do you know you do this a lot? I noticed that when you said this or when you do this, this is how it made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't make me feel so good. Or, just let them know when you said or did this, this is how it made me feel.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And if that person can really take into consideration what you said and can now, wow, I didn't even look at it like that. I didn't even know I made you feel that way, or when I didn't know, and
Mm-hmm.
you see that they're consciously making an effort to change and do
Yeah.
better, then I would say that's a positive. That's a red flag that can become a positive.
I
But if
agree.
this person is doing it over and over and over and they're not learning or taking your feelings into consideration, then that's not good. I'm supposed to
Okay.
do life with you and you can't even change the smaller things.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cool. I'm
Exactly.
good.
Now I have a
Those are the
question
red
for you.
flags that you pay attention to while you're dating. Pay attention to those. If I'm telling you something, because you have two people from two different walk of life, two
Mm-hmm.
different upbringing, nature, nurture, personalities, circumstances, all of that, trying to intertwine life together and walk parallel as one. That's hard.
Yes.
That's not easy. So you're going to have a lot of differences. That's normal. Now, if I'm telling you, this is how I need to be loved, because
Mm-hmm.
how you loved your first partner or your last partner, that's what works for her. This is what works for me, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. You're learning each other. You're learning how to love each other. And you have to take mental note. If my partner, whoever I'm dating or going to be marrying, tells me I'm doing something wrong or this works better for him,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to pay attention at what works best for my man,
Yeah.
and love him how he needs to be loved based on his love languages, and vice versa. So you have to both be open and honest and be selfless, to learn and grow and evolve together, and not close-minded. That's not
Exactly.
good.
Yeah. So the red flags are there for a reason. Um, you know, always
Mm-hmm.
speak, always talk, point it out. Um, uh, what I would encourage some people to do, like if someone points out a red flag in you and you know you've always been this way, because this is what I do. When someone points out a red flag in me, and I know that I've been doing this forever, so subconsciously I'll just do it without even thinking. Like sometime when I'm driving to a specific
Right.
location, I'm not paying attention to where I'm going because I know where I'm going. It's just I'm just driving, and then I'm like, oh snap! I just passed like 15 blocks and don't even remember what I was doing,
You're
but I just
subconscious.
subconsciously
Yeah,
drive.
it's like,
So
yeah, it's
what I do is
wired.
I give that person permission every time that it happens, point it out so that I can become more cognizant of it. Because sometimes if they leave it up to you to change, you won't even notice because you're doing it. So I did have a question, and I
Mm-hmm.
want people in the audience to respond to if you have an answer. Did you get closure in your divorce? And what I mean by that is there were questions that you had. Now you was wondering, did you go and find the answers, or they're just questions that's still up in the air? And do you feel like it's necessary or it's important to get those questions answered?
Um, I don't concern myself with why people do things anymore, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes if people are not operating in their fullest potential and they're not fully healed or hold themselves, then they can't really give me the answer as to why they do certain things. They're just immature. They're immature, they're probably not ready, and they're probably trying to work through their journey of life. And it just sucks that certain people on your journey of trying to figure out you and will get hurt, unfortunately. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't concern myself with the who, what, when, where, whys anymore. I just, like we were saying earlier, when I go through certain things and certain painful situations, instead of saying why me and why this, that, the third, I look at my problems with a different lens as to why not me. And it had to be necessary. I needed to go through. You may not understand the why things happen and how you got here, but you have to know that it is well with my soul. I have to move on from this. I have to be at peace. I have to heal. I have to grow. I'm good. I forgive you. I love you from a distance. Um, I can't stay here trying to figure out this thing like, or I'm gonna go crazy. I just have to just ask God to heal me and to take this burden away from me, and to help me and give me the strength and the courage and the faith to forgive this person and to move forward. Now, does it always happen? It sounds good, but does it always happen that way? No, because there's time where I'm pissed off and I'm literally like oh, like I wish I could just punch this face in the face, and you're angry, and then I have to come back down and I pray about it. There's time when I'm praying and I'm shouting and I'm yelling, no, this, that, then the third. Yeah, I've had those moments with God. I'm not gonna front. There's time when we literally arguing. But that's just me kicking and screaming and who, because I'm being a little child. I'm throwing my little temper tantrum with my daddy. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows me and he knows my heart. And he just like, I'm gonna let her be great. And then she'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna let her do her thing, because right now she's going through it. And then I come back here. I'm sorry about that, Daddy. Holy Spirit. Just give me peace that surpasses all my understanding. And I trust you that you're going to, this is your battle, not mine.
Mm-hmm. I've experienced both spectrum. Well, in a way, some closure and no closure. There was another situation that I was always asking a question over 11 years, and I wanted to understand because I wanted to move to another level in my life. And I felt like if I didn't get the answers from this particular person about myself, I would never be able to discover what was it about me that caused so much hurt or pain or anxiety in that person's life. So I was able to finally start getting answers, and a lot of things that I thought about myself wasn't even true. So so I could understand why somebody would want to know, maybe for themselves, like what did I do wrong? What areas do I need to improve on? But I definitely get your point where, I don't need to understand why they did what they did, because there's a good chance they don't know. And a lot of people don't want to share it anyway. So you have to be able to make peace with that. But I think that the whole point of self-discovery, of learning about yourself, and not living a don't live a fantasy life thinking that you have everything under control and you got everything perfect. You got flaws too. I want to know what my flaws are. What are they?
Right.
I'm a person that don't shy away from someone telling me about myself.
I think naturally we want to know, like, why did you do that? Like, you couldn't have came to me, or blah, 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 blah. And you're right. Sometimes that person might not be honest. They might not tell you the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and they might sugarcoat it because they don't want to hurt your feelings. And even though you said it's not gonna hurt my feelings, I'm like, I would respect your honesty.
Mm-hmm.
They probably not 100% at peace with themselves to be like, nah, I can't really tell her this or tell him that, or I rather that person believe whatever they want to believe, and I'm not going to tell the truth. And you just have to be okay. Like we said, you have to be okay with those answers and letting it go. There's many times where I've been through different things in my life and I didn't get the answer that I needed, or the
Mm-hmm.
whys, or I couldn't make sense of it. And when you get to a certain place where your peace of mind will cost you too much, you're like, they're lost.
Yeah.
They're lost. I can't sit here and bother my brain and lose sleep anymore on this thing. I have to make peace with it. You have to really make a conscious effort to be at peace with it. Like, I'm choosing to let it go, lay it to rest. It's not my battle to fight. I'm moving forward and just have to be at peace with it.
Yes. So once again, I would like to thank you. I'm letting everybody know you got to get your own book, Love After. Someone asked, how do you get this book? You can actually just add her as a friend. I know the link is in your bio.
Yeah, the link is in my bio.
Click on the link. Don't go. Well, I'm not gonna downgrade Amazon, but just get your autographed copy.
If you get it directly from me, you'll get the pen, the bookmark. It comes in a gift bag, and you'll get a note. You know, I'm not a type of person to just sign my name. I do write in the book and a note or whatever to you. And you can, it's like he said, the link is in the bio, or you can go to theloveafter.com and get it directly from me. Or the link in my bio is my link tree, so it has access to all the different outlets. Or you can just go straight to theloveafter.com.
Yeah, this is awesome.
There's Lola, just a movie that I recently did. That's going to be playing online at American Black Film Festival, which is a top prestigious film festival. We'll be screening the movie, one of my recent movie, Lola, in which I'm an EP and also one of the principal characters in there. So you can be able to see that. You'll be able to see that online. Because of course, due to COVID, all of the major film festivals are not face to face. They're all digital this year. So I guess that trait saved me a plane ticket. So look out for that. We'll be announcing that shortly.
To talk about Men Hurt Too. Okay, we hurt also.
Men hurt too. All my brothers out there, all my kings.
We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to cry. Well, we probably won't cry live, but
you know what I love? It's so beautiful when a man can be vulnerable. And I understand you can't be vulnerable for every woman, because some of these chicks out here who are not queens, who are not women, but they're grown girls, they don't really know how to embrace a man vulnerability because they're still growing and healing. But I think it's a beautiful thing when a man can allow themselves to be vulnerable, because you don't see that a lot. And some men are so apologetic for being vulnerable. Like, no, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Joanne say transparency is very effective.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about this right now. You're trying to steal the show. You're trying to make a part 3 and Men Cry 2 with Jacinth. But thank you once again. I'm looking forward to everyone joining us again 2 weeks from today. And we will have Jacinth once again sometime. I don't know when, but we will have you back again.
Somebody say Happy Independence Day. I'm guessing Jamaica. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You done know Happy Independence Day. Yes.
Awesome.
Carl would definitely participate. And everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. You could have been doing anything else on your Friday night, but you're here chilling with us. And I hope you learned something in some way, shape, or form. If not, you can inbox me or Pastor Gersh, and I'll be happy to help. I definitely answer my inboxes. That's what I do.
He does. All right, then. God bless.
All right. God bless. Have a good night.